It usually takes another minute or so to kick. So I'm going to take this time to pick my character. Which will be this guy. I should be live broadcasting, so I'm going to go ahead and double check here. You can't see me, 'cause I'm cool like that. Let's see. Says, oh, wait. Interesting. Well, it's telling me I need an encoder, but as I am streaming on my PS4, it should be pretty solid. Oh. And looks like we're a go. There's going to be some lag, I presume. A lot of it. But whatever, we're on the air. Okay, so speed farming is setting your difficulty just low enough. You're going to essentially one-shot everything, but keeping the difficulty high enough that the rewards are going to be worth it. If you're capable of, T9, you don't want to speed farm T1 because you can easily one-shot everything in T1. You probably one-shot everything in T6 as well. And it's not going to make a lick of difference time-wise if you're one-shotting things. So in this case, my character is comfortable with T9. I can do T10. But we're going to go ahead and switch it to, let's see, let's go T6. And then, because we're on PlayStation, I can raise or lower that difficulty one level in either direction as needed. Okay. All right. So, let's see. We are doing an Ultimate Evil build. Or, I'm sorry, not Ultimate Evil. Unhallowed Essence. It's a really good 6-piece. Also generate 1 discipline, gain 20% reduction Deal 20% more damage for 4 seconds if no enemy was within 10 yards of you. You can keep that up constantly. That's easy. But the real bread and butter is your generators and multi-shot deal 15% increased damage for every point of discipline you have. Thus, you want to maximize your discipline, and you want multi-shot to be your primary damage dealer. So we've got Unhallowed Essence, Unhallowed Essence, Unhallowed Essence, Unhallowed Essence. This is not a best in slot for this build, or really any build. It just happens to be the best that I have. I'm using Bane of the Stricken. It's best for pushing greater rifts, which I'm not going to be doing here. There's better gems available for speed farming. In fact, quite a few. Reaper's Wraps, again, not great for speed farming. I probably should have reset this build before starting the video, but whatever. We're live streaming and I'm drinking, so meh. Dead Man's Legacy is absolutely necessary for the build. It allows you to double hit enemies that are below 58%, or it's 60 to 50, I believe. So you want to take advantage of that. Focus and Restraint. I mean, they're a pretty solid standard for most builds. Unhallowed Essence, Unhallowed Essence. Hunter's Wrath is, again, pretty necessary. No, I'm sorry. It is definitely useful for this build. Primary skills attack 30% faster and deal 47% increased damage, which is really nice when you're low on your resources. This is a good way to build them back up while still doing a significant amount of damage. The weapon, Yang's Recurve, absolutely necessary. Multi-shot attacks 50% faster. It also has a non-legendary bonus of reducing all resource costs by 40%. So as you're tearing through your multi-shot attacks, you're going to be doing a lot more of them longer as you maintain 40% extra resource. Alright, that's the gear. On the ring, I'm using Bane of the Trapped. On Restraint, I'm using Bane of the Trapped. On Focus, I'm using Zayastone Vengeance. Those gems go together very well. As Zayastone, or Zia's, has a 20% chance on hit to stun, and Bane of the Trapped increases damage against enemies under the effects of control and pairing effects by, in my case, 26.4, but that's dependent on your level of the gem. Okay, so now it's up to you. Do you want to speed farm bounties? Do you want to speed farm rifts? In this case, we're going to go ahead and do regular Nephilim rifts. We're going to see where our power level is at T6. Now, this should be pretty easy. I like to lead with a generator and then finish out with multi-shot. So the idea here, which I'm not immediately displaying perfectly, is to just move as fast as possible. Actually, I might want to up the difficulty here because I'm one-shotting pretty... Yeah, I'm one-shotting elites. In Greater Rifts, collect legendaries and overcrafting mats. Yeah, now up the difficulty. You may only need one or the other. If that's the case, only pick up the one you need. If you don't need legendaries, don't pick them up. Obviously, there will be legendaries that you see that you're going to be viable for your build, so you want to pick those up if you're only looking for crafting mats. Yeah, I probably could have done 8 for speed farming. If you're just looking for legendaries, then you probably set on crafting mats. But you will have a stack that is less in all of your crafting mats. I would consider picking those up. Ideally, you don't want to go back for anything. Or really even hit chests. So let's say in this particular case, I'm only farming for legendaries. So I'm going to ignore everything on the ground. That is not a legendary. Also keep in mind, Demon Hunter is probably not the best speed farming class. It's my favorite at the moment, quite possibly to be replaced by Wizard's Firebird set in patch 2.4. But right now, this particular build is my favorite. I didn't go over skills, but obviously multi-shot. Hey. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and just do that real quick. So, evasive fire, focus, pretty standard. Multi-shot, arsenal, because I'm using a missile build. Vault, Trail of Cinders. I'm not really sure why I'm using that. Bonus fire damage, I suppose. Companion Wolf gives you the extra damage. Preparation Invigoration is a must. It gives you the 15 extra discipline, which gives you more damage. Caltrops is good for pushing rifts. It's not useful in speed farming. Ambush, Ballistics, Blood Vengeance, Steady Aim. Those are all pretty solid. They allow you to pop out damage pretty quick. When you run into a dead end, there you go. Don't hesitate to go ahead and use Humble. If you need discipline, you can always enact that. It's actually a very bad time for a speed run. This is very speedy. That's okay. Good density here. This is the kind of density you want in a greater rift. At this point, honestly, my character really only needs legendary drops, so that's really all I'm looking for here. I'm sorry, set drops. Unless I happen to see a legendary that I could really use, slot-wise. So amulets always. And I believe I have a Royal Ring of Grandeur. Well, right now I have Convention of Elements, which is pretty decent for damage. In fact, it's one of the best in slot items. But I'm not feeling it. I'm almost exclusively fire damage, so every, I think it's 6 seconds, I get a 200 bonus to damage. But that leaves 18 seconds where I'm not getting anything from it. So I would like a better item to socket. Since we're farming, we're going to go ahead and keep going after the Rift Guardian. It's pretty lame. Yeah, I mean, I probably should be on T8. But for when you're farming, just whatever feels fast. As long as you're one-shotting primarily, then you're doing fine. Try not to go out of your way. I tend to, even when I shouldn't. You go out of your way for elites, and that's about it. Stay away from single mobs. They're not worth the time to kill. Speed farming and pushing high-level greater rifts are very similar in that regard. In greater rifts, you want to bunch up your mobs, find an elite group, and bunch it into a trash mob group, and then do area damage, so that every attack you make is doing the most amount of damage. Doing 1,000 damage to one thing is less than doing 500 damage to 20 things. The problem arises when you actually get to the Rift Guardian in a greater rift and there's no other mobs. That means all your splash damage, your spread damage, or area damage is useless because you're only hitting one mob. Because of that, area damage as the Paragon skill has become really popular. And that it very highly augments group damage without taking much away from your single target damage and your Paragon levels. Not a great turnout for item drops. Don't pick up money. You'll notice I keep going out of my way to do so. It's habit. I'm not used to speed farming. In fact, I'm really just doing this. I'm using the right words, but I'm using the wrong actions. Alright, let's actually speed farm here. The idea is to ignore most trash mobs. Shit gets in your way, shoot it. There's an elite. There you go. Nothing worth picking up. This is a far better representation. There's elites. Nuke 'em. Nothing. Yeah, there's a surprisingly few drops in this game. There we go. This is very surprisingly few. Yeah, if you can take out a giant mob of mobs with one hit, then by all means. There we go. But yeah, don't go out of your way. The whole idea is to go fast. Um, I may have to go rescue. Oh, bomber. I may have to go rescue one of my cats from somewhere as he appears to be whining. Yeah, I think we're pretty much done with this rift. Wow, just really lame drops. Yeah, we're done. Alright, that's speed farming in a dumb nutshell. Cheers. Oh wait, there's a person here. Craig. Which crossbow are you talking about? Because this one for multi-shot is pretty much the best in slot. Oh, you're talking about Danetta's Revenge and Spite. Very good, but with this build, you definitely want to go with Yang's recurve. And you're gone. Alright. Oh wow, the lag is really bad.
Greetings,
Alright. So I'm going to wrap this up. Cheers. Oh. Good night.